starting to get into routine. But had another good week of practice. Ready for Game 4, first away trip, first ACC game on the road. I think our guys are locked in. Had, like I said, a good week of practice. I feel good where we are here today on Thursday. We'll jump on an airplane tomorrow and head down to North Carolina. Questions? Okay.
When you made the decision last week to make some changes to your defense, do some different things as far as the front, how much of that decision is based on how you feel your players are going to be able to mentally take, hey, we're going to do something different. This is not the thing that we've practiced every single day for the last 4 years. How much is that sort of the thing you're thinking about when you decide whether or not to do something like that?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but you're talking about just what we did defensively last week.
It was different. Like you played with some odd that you haven't done before, and
right.
Like when you make a change like that, how much of?
Well, it's not something we did. We didn't just start talking about it on Tuesday. Put it that way. It was something we worked back in the summer. We talked about it in the spring. We talked. We spent probably 3 days on Georgia Tech in the summer, spring, post recruiting, just studying that film. Odd film. What do we want to do? We brought in a guy, that was a guru, option guy to help us out. I mean, whatever it takes. It doesn't matter if we got to go to Hawaii to figure something out. We'll go wherever it may be to, staff development as far as getting something better. What's the next thing we have to do? I don't know. So we're going to do whatever it takes to. Be better, but it's not going to be a, hey, let's do this, and just, thought about it last night, and let's do it. We're not going to do that.
Is it a sign of some, mental growth from your guys that you felt confident they could do that?
Sometimes it is. I mean, I think, we felt like it, but we also, it's your kids got to be able to do it, but your coaches got to know what they're doing, too. I mean, you better know what you're doing. I think, that's the key is if your coaches, there's a lot of answers. I've been around different, defense staffs where you don't have an answer out of your base, so you have to go somewhere else to do it, and then you don't know it very well, and it ends up getting you fired. That's not what we're going to do. If we're going to change something and we're going to do something, it's so hard for our kids. It's like, and it's so hard for every kid. It's like, they know what they know, and to throw something different at and not have answers, that's when you will fail. But to me, we have a base. We know what we're doing now, against a Georgia Tech type offense, which we're playing North Carolina this week. We spent a lot of time on last week, but we better know what we're doing. We better know the ins and outs of it before we put something in, because there's a lot that can go wrong. And then what if they do this? Then what's your answer? You better have answers. So
is that the first time you brought in an outsider to help with Georgia Tech?
No. We every year we'll bring somebody in, or we'll go somewhere and talk different stuff. We always, it's professional development. What do we need? You kind of evaluate where you are. The sad thing about it is it's getting less and less. I mean, 10 years ago we got more of it. You might go 2 places. The nice thing is we got these guys next door. If you wanted to go, hey, we need some 2-point plays, whatever it is. What do you need? Where do you go? We've been out to Colorado. I mean, we've made some trips. But this recruiting is getting out of control. It's ruining football in our development. I can tell you that. So it kind of stinks. And now you got official visits in summer. It's like, where do you spend your time? All these summer camps. So you kind of get less professional development, and somehow we need to find a time to do that. Is it going to we start doing it in January? That's kind of what I've thought about.
It's just a time problem. You feel like it's just eating up too much here.
Yeah, I mean, June gets to be too much. I mean, it's like by the time you get off the road, you're recruiting, and then it's spring ball, and there's no time. It's almost like you better know what you want and maybe do it in January sometime, because signing period's earlier now. So our periods have changed. We've just got to figure out when to do some of those things.
You were touching on that there, Pat. How much less time do you spend coaching and and working on player development now compared to what you did maybe at the start of your career of your coaching?
You're talking during the season?
During the season, yeah.
During the season hasn't changed. During the season really hasn't changed. We're going to do it's football.
Yeah.
That's all we do. It's like when it's not football season. What are you doing? It seems like when we get to, to December and January, it's all recruiting, because you have to. But now with the December period and all these early commitments, you kind of we just got to change. The schedule's got to change a little bit. I mean, the NCAA's changing different things, and we need to start to change our schedules if it's going to stay consistent. As soon as we change it, then they'll change something back to something else, and we'll be all messed up. So North Carolina's pretty freaking good. I can tell you that.
As far as North Carolina,
Hey,
what have you learned about this matchup through 3 years? But I'm sure every year you play a team from the ACC, you learn something different about them. What have you learned about UNC just in the way Larry wants to attack you guys and things that you can do better against them?
Number one thing is they do a good job. You learn something new about everybody every year. You find that we got to do a good job protecting ourselves on the sideline, as far as just making sure our signals are going to our guys and only our guys. We just talked about as a staff, we got to do a good job there. We've changed up who our signal callers are. We'll have 3 different guys that'll be live this week, so we'll have different stuff there. So you learn some of those things that you go through, who's stealing, who's not. They're a good football team. Larry does a great job of and I know he doesn't call it, but he does a good job of really game planning you. So you learn what they like to do every year against you. Going into year 4, they do a good job of scheming you up, I think. I would say Duke and North Carolina probably do the best job of kind of just having a play that off a play. Oh, you stop that, then we got this. Well, if you stop that, then they got that. So they know what they're doing schematically. I think they do a terrific job.
Pat, how irritated are some of your guys for the way you guys could have won every game the last few years? I know Motley was talking about that, I think, earlier in the week. I don't know if you use that as a motivational thing, or the players think like, man, we got to beat these guys.
I'm not looking back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. It's about this week. It's all that matters. We got to go down there and play the best game. There's no excuses. We got to go out and play. They're good. They really are. They're going to look good. You're going to walk on the field and you're going to go, wow. They got some great looking players. They play good. We got to do the same. We got to go down and play football. We got to go down and play our best game of the year.
Is it weird to think that if things would have gone a little bit differently there, that Kenny Pickett might have been out over on their sideline this week instead of yours?
Never thought about it, but we didn't. They tried to come at him late, and it didn't happen. So,
what are you expecting to see from North Carolina, Pat? Because obviously they didn't play last week; their game had gotten canceled. In your experience, what typically happens with those bye weeks? I guess even this early, in the season, is there rust, or do you typically see opponents as more refreshed?
Craig, I can rub that crystal ball and look in there. Who knows what you're going to get? Last week Jerry thought we were going to get our tails kicked in, so it's like, what are we going to get? I don't know. Terry, he bet on the game and said we're going to lose because of what happened the other 2 times.
Couldn't buy groceries this week.
Yeah, good. But when you look at what happens after, who knows what happens? Larry's a good football coach. He's going to have his guys ready to go. He's going to get them motivated. They're going to come back. They had a tough loss in the state, but they're a good football team. You go back and watch that tape, and they're down the red zone. They're kicking field goals. They go for it twice on 4th and 1. Don't get either one of them. Give East Carolina credit. They're going to be pissed off, and they're going to be ready to go. Is the way I'm looking at it. They're going to be ready to go. So that's what we're expecting to have an angry Tar Heel down there when we get there.
What about an angry Pitt team that hasn't beaten North Carolina in 5 tries?
I expect to have that too. Pat Narduzzi better have their tails ready to go, right? Larry's got his guys going. I got to have our troops ready to roll.
Have you used that as a talking point, motivation, in your talk to the guys this week?
Not right now. It's about it's about us not beating ourselves in the second half. It's about us doing the details right, execution, and game planning. So, but we better be ready to go too. I don't like getting beat.
Do you worry at all, Pat, about your guys dwelling on those close losses and maybe sort of a mental block forming with them?
Not unless they're listening to you guys. No. And hope they're not listening to you. Hope they're not reading what you guys are talking about, what you're saying now. We're locked in. This is a different football team than last year's. It's like you try to piece what happened in the past. We got to focus on this game right now, 2018. You get one opportunity to play these guys, and they're going to give you another chance. So,
Elliott's got 4 interceptions, I think just 1 touchdown. Are you seeing something there that's able to be taken advantage of if you play your defense the right way?
Not really. Larry Fedora's a good football coach. He's going to get them right. That's what I'm expecting. I hope he doesn't. But we're expecting to see a sharp Elliott, and he's a good football player. He's talking about, I didn't play good. So what's he going to do? He's going to come back and play good. He played good against us last year. Maybe he's thinking, and Larry's saying, listen, this is your game. You played great last year. We're going to get you right back to that. Maybe he's watching tape against him last year going, look how you did this. That's what if I'm Larry Fedora, that's what I'm coaching up. And like I said, he gets paid, good money to coach that football team, and he'll have his guys ready to go. We got to be ready to go. We got to be ready to expect to face the best Nathan Elliott that's out there, and that's I don't care about those picks. It's a different game. Maybe it's his first road start. I don't know what it is, but we got our problems. We'll worry about Pitt and let them worry about them.
Considering your roster at the time, when you were recruiting Pickett, did you see him maybe stepping in as a starter as a sophomore because your depth wasn't that great at the moment at quarterback?
We always expected, when we recruit a guy just like Nick Patty, we expect Nick Patty to be ready next year. I told him last week, we're going to get you down on the scout field this week. So he got extensive scout team reps this week, Nick Patty did, because Jeff George is eligible, just to let you know. Okay, so as you're talking quarterbacks, I'll give you that. So he is eligible. We're happy. He's done a nice job the last couple of weeks. He's been eligible for a couple of weeks. I just kind of didn't tell you guys.
I figured
I meant to tell you, but Nick's been down. I told Nick, hey, you be ready. He might be coming up here, pretty soon. Who knows? You knock on wood, you stay healthy. We don't have to, but there's a time I said, listen, you go down there, but still focus on the game plan, what we're doing. Don't forget, how we do stuff here, because we did the same thing with Kenny last year, and all of a sudden he was up the next week or the next 4 weeks afterwards. So, is that good? Did I answer your question?
You did. Thank you.
Pat, last week you got the deep ball to Tayseer. How important for the development of the offense is to get a few of those deep balls just to stretch the defense?
It's really important. We've talked about it. It's got to be at the right time, the right moment. But we'd like to run the football too. So running the ball is important. Making those big plays is too. If you waste it down, throwing it down the field, and you don't catch it, it's kind of like, oh, now it's 2nd and 10. Now you got to get at least 5 on that down just to get to a 3rd and 5. Now it's 2nd and 10, you throw it. Now you're 3rd and 10. Now you're behind the stick. So there's good things, bad things. It's how conservative the head coach wants to be, and I want to turn them loose or not. It depends on these guys got some great corners. I mean, KJ Sales is a player. You better pick your times, and you don't want to be it can't be a 10% ball. If it's 50-50, I'm good with taking the 50-50 chances, but it better be the right time at the right place.
That Alex Officer posted his GoFundMe page. I think it was Tuesday night. I just want to ask you when you found out about that, and what you might have said to him or the guys since you learned of that situation.
Yeah. Tough deal, I think, I've known it since back on, at least I believe, August 23rd really, is when I found out, didn't know where it was going to go, knew there was testing going on, but he had come back from Kansas City and wasn't feeling good, so our doctors, taking care of our players as they do, even when they're not playing for us anymore, got him down to get him an MRI, and they're looking at, like, why is he getting hurt? And they said, something's wrong, what's going on? So they did an MRI, found out there was more in there than just a ligament or a meniscus, and found out there was something growing in there that was bad. So our hearts and prayers are with that family, with AO. He knows that we've had multiple conversations and text messages and how you're doing, and we're trying to help him along this process because he's forever Panther with us. He's always with us all the time. It's just one of those deals that I think I mentioned it maybe the kickoff luncheon about just we're thinking about our players in the past, and that's the guy I was thinking about at that time when I said that, because those guys, he's on our mind. All our guys are. I don't care if it's Nathan Peterman up in Buffalo, how he's doing right now in his situation, and those guys are all guys we care about. You watch Tyler Boyd tear it up one Thursday night or Sunday night, whatever it was. I mean, he had a great game his last outing. Those guys are Panthers forever, and we care about them when it's good and when it's bad. They're our guys. We're going to try to help them out.
In those conversations that you had with Alex, Pat, how do you seem to be holding up or sort of processing everything that's going on right now? I mean, I can't imagine how much that is for him to take on, especially that age.
Yeah, I mean, AO's quiet. He's tough. He's a tough quiet. I mean, he grew up in a tough, he doesn't have any insurance. I mean, you think about college students, when you guys were college students, you get done playing, you hope you're going to make it, you're looking for a job. When you get a job, you get insurance. When you don't have a job, you have no insurance. So, that's why that GoFundMe page is so important. He doesn't really have insurance, so all the help that he can get right now is going to be important for him to help pay some bills. I know he's trying to raise some money. It's important. It's like, so if you guys got any tips to help him, we appreciate it.
Pat, talking about your forever Panthers, you got a couple of them might meet each other on Monday night. Got Connor and Whitehead meeting in the hole. Who do you like?
Ooh, I don't know. Depends on what the run play is, but those are two great ones. Monday night, geez, I have to DVR that game. I might go home and drink a cup of coffee and see if I can stay up for that one. That'll be huge. It's a big game. Love those two guys. Sounds like they're both doing well, and wish I could watch NFL football.
Do you ever talk football with these guys next door? I mean, advice or suggestions or anything like that?
You really don't. You do in the off season. I talk to Coach Tom anytime I get a chance over there, but there's just no time. I mean, there's just not as much time as you'd like. I know our offense staff's probably spent more time over there talking, offensive stuff when they can, and some of them are neighbors and live near each other, can get more than you can, but it's just recruiting in college football. There's not much time to do that. I got a nice call from Coach Tom last week, and I won't share. I'll get you guys in the off season about it, but interesting call. No reason to talk about it now. Some things he noticed that that I didn't notice, and he wouldn't have noticed either if he wasn't with his players. But we'll talk about that some other day.
Sounds interesting. I'll hold you to that.
Okay,
I'm sure you will. Anything
you'll
fun?
laugh.
Good.
Okay.